Is it ready?
I think so. Oh, come. You got that.
All right, I got it. When I was a boy, my grandfather was a woodworker. He had a wood shop out back, and he made all kinds of beautiful things. And I remember him running a wood lathe. I'd never seen a wood lathe before hanging out with him, and it was just an amazing thing to see. And as he aged, of course, there wasn't as much he could do, and I was not in a place where I was interested in woodworking, but long story short, I inherited an old wood lathe that belonged to him. Now, I used it a little while when we lived in the city, but when we moved, it just got put away under a tarp, and one thing led to another, and bottom line, I've destroyed it. Probably not destroyed it. The goal this week is to try to restore this thing. You can see it's under about a foot of snow, not covered. It was already incredibly rusty when I got it, and I had done a little work on it to get the motor working and the belts lined up and running, and that was many, many years ago. So I regret that it's been stored out of doors and most recently under snow. But today's the day. We're gonna put it back together, try to make something beautiful. Okay, we have two WD-40s. This is WD-40 original. This is WD-40 silicone. We're using this. Reason. WD-40 is actually not a lubricant. It was invented to keep water out of metal parts. It stands for water displacement formula number 40. There's a lot of interesting history on WD-40. You should look it up. This is for lubrication. So for parts that need to slide, you buy the silicone version. And when you're trying to get wet, rusty things to be not wet and rusty, it's this one. All right, let's do it. My grandfather always had this motor mounted on a door hinge, and it's just to take up the tension on the belt, on this belt. So you just move the belt to wherever you want it, and that's the tension. It's simple. All right, let's see what happens. Well, we got the lathe put together and running, but shortly after I broke this motor. I mean, I don't know if I broke it. I kept trying to turn it on and off, and anyway, it made a loud buzzing sound and then it just kind of quit. So I'm taking it apart to try to fix it. I think I figured out what it is. It's got these brushes and one of them's broken and the wire came loose, so it's just they're supposed to look like this. This one looks like this. so it doesn't make contact with the motor. It's got a lot of sawdust in it. It is in fact a motor for a lathe, so yeah, it's gonna have a lot of sawdust. This is not my sawdust. Some of it is, but it's my grandpa's sawdust inside there. Tells a story. Well, everything worked out with the lathe and it is up and running. Today we made a mallet. That's the timber framing mallet. We made a handle out of some Juneberry wood that we found on property that was nice and dry. So that felt good. I'm hoping that lathe will serve me and my children and my grandchildren for generations. Wouldn't that be cool? Man, that's a cool thing to think about. Thanks for joining us on our journey. If you are enjoying our channel, there's a few things you can do to help out. One is subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, do subscribe. That really helps. Push the bell and you'll get notified when we have new content. We put out a video about once a week, maybe twice a week. So you'll push the bell, you'll get notified of new content. The last thing you can do is consider supporting us on Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can chip in and help out to keep this homestead going. Thanks. See you next time.